Hey guys, this is Alex. I'm back to bring you some more stock news, and today I found another article talking about CRISPR, talking about genetics in general, and this article has to do with pushing forward. We got some great news today. It looks like an article came out from the Investors Business Daily, and it's talking about genetic stock pops after NTLA offers update for gene editing drugs. That's exciting, right? Now, and then you're wondering, well, what is that all about? Well, it looks like NTLA has a part in pushing up the stock, and that's why CRISPR, that's why Edit and NTLA went up. And the article talks about how NTLA expects to ask the Food and Drug Administration permission to begin human trials, human testing on a hereditary angioedema treatment. That's the deal. And so that's really exciting. That's huge. That means later in the second half of 2021, we're going to start human trials on using CRISPR technology, and that is huge because that's what we've been all waiting for. That's what Kathy Woods has been talking about. All this talk about the next couple years is big, and I was wondering, what's the timeline? That was my big question. When is this going to happen? Like, can I see some evidence of why it's going to be so soon? And this article is great for that. I mean, this article shows that they're going to start doing human testing. And I've already talked to you guys about how I think testing is going to go well because genes are genes, and they've already worked on mice genes, and they've already worked on human genes in mice. So at the same time, I don't see an issue with it. And on top of that, there's another video that I'm going to be coming out with that talks about how they've already worked on humans and corrected genes in order to avoid certain issues. So I'm pretty sure this is going to work, and it just gives you a timeline of when we're going to start hearing some of the good news. And it looks like they're going to start later in 2021, in the second half of this year. That's why the first half of this year might be a great time to get invested in CRISPR stock. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so I would never, so don't hold me to that standard. This is just my opinion. But I would say that this first half of 2021 is going to be a great time for me to buy shares or anyone who's interested. And the second half, we're going to hear great news. We're going to keep hearing better news. And all the way into next year, I think it's going to be huge because when human trials start to work, I think a lot of investors are going to jump in. And so this kind of gives you a great timeline. So let's check this out really quick. So we got right here, we got Investor Business Daily, Genetic Stocks Pop. Here we go, this article. And what's so exciting about this article is right here they talk about asking permission, begin human trials right here. Food and Drug Administration permission to begin human testing. By mid-year, it also expects to ask permission to begin testing a cancer drug. That's the big deal right there. So mid-year. All right, get ready, guys. By mid-year, they're going to treat this thing. They're going to release their studies. I mean, this is just an optimistic guess, but these guys move quick. They already have the drug probably made. So they're just going to be giving it out, doing some tests, just double-checking, making sure that it worked. And then we're going to hear results. It's going to be breakthroughs. And I think everyone's going to jump in this thing, and it's going to shoot up to the moon. I mean, yeah, I'm being optimistic, but I'm not the only one being optimistic about this stock. Kathy Wood is very excited about this stock. So I'm just saying this is exciting, and it's a timeline, and it gives you an idea of when something might happen, something big potentially. If they're testing it, they're going to bring results. And these guys, they don't really miss. They're very accurate with the way that they cut and edit these genes. So I'm excited about it, and this is a great indicator. We should jump in. By mid-year, we're going to start hearing huge news, very exciting news. I mean, we're talking about testing it. So that means they probably already created it, and they're just going to be testing it. And so, I mean, if we hear good news from this, so here's the thing. I have, later in this video, I'm going to be bringing you another study on how they already treated a blood sickle cell disease, and it worked in 10 different people, and they didn't have any issues with any of the other people. It worked right away. They said this is the first patient that was ever treated. So, I mean, instantaneously striking success. So they're not really missing. They're not really messing around. They're going in, they're editing, and they're having results right away. That's why I think that could have the same thing happen here. It's just a different gene, We're just working on genes here, and they're already having success. So I'm pretty optimistic about this, and that's why I'm bringing it to you. It's up to you how you want to view it. I'm just bringing you the facts of what I've seen, and I think Kathy Wood's seeing the same thing. So I think there's plenty of opportunity in this stock with this news. So yeah. So anyway, guys, you can see that NTLA last 5 days, it had a 40% gain, up to 53% before it tailed off on Friday. But Thursday was the day of the big news. Yeah, it was up around 11% on Thursday. And now we're looking at CRISPR Therapeutics. Same thing. It's up about 24%. It had about 30% gain as well. If we look at just Thursday, we're looking at about a 14% gain, which is pretty amazing. So it looks like news is starting to pick up. Things are starting to get exciting. Yeah, and so the thing about whether NTLA is doing the research, whether NTLA is doing the studies or not, I don't think it really matters. They're all working on the same CRISPR technology. They're all working on the same stuff. And so they're all going to have large success if one of them has large success. That's why they're all kind of rising at the same time. And they're all going to take different segments of the disease market. Probably, I mean, I'm not really sure how they're going to divide all this up, but I'm pretty sure they're all going to get a ton of success. CRISPR's the biggest one, so I don't see why they wouldn't be able to take a very large portion of the success. This is a technology they're all working on together, essentially. So I expect them all to kind of stay together, just like ARC is saying the same thing. So they're expecting to have guidance later this year on when they're going to have the results for the studies. So that's more good news. I'm looking out for that. So we keep hearing about later this year, later this year. That's the big deal, is later this year we're going to hear some really great things. I have a timeline. I'm going to take advantage of it now, knowing that I have till later this year before probably good news comes out. Bad news could still come out. They could still say, hey, it looks like it's going to take a little longer. They could say that. But I don't want to take a chance and miss it. But that's just me. So another really cool thing about this whole CRISPR technology is that they're actually considering working on crops, and so that you don't have to use so many pesticides. So it's going to be good for the environment. We're going to get better crop yields. Potentially they might even apply it to the animals. So instead of using all these pesticides, all these chemicals, and all these bad things, and we could have healthier food, healthier crops. And it'll be good for the environment, and potentially it'll be really good for us. We'll have better quality food. It'll honestly increase health just off of that standpoint, because a lot of problems are caused from the food that we eat. So that's really cool. It's more good news. They're not giving an exact timeline for that, but it is just a positive note to add to all the other positives that we're already seeing. Which leads me to think this is a great stock. Anything that changes the world and has this big of an impact, to me, usually has a lot of value. And because this is only like a $10 to $16 billion company, relatively small company, solving a huge problem, I think the gains could be huge. And I kind of invest. That's the way I invest. I invest in things that are revolutionary that haven't quite yet been discovered. I wouldn't say discovered, but they haven't been noticed and appreciated by the market yet. So their market cap has not fully realized their total potential. That's what you really want to get involved in if you're looking for growth stocks, if you're looking for big gains, reasonably quick gains. And the great part about this one is we're talking about CRISPR. Everyone's saying it's around the corner, and I think they're right with a lot of the news that we're hearing. One more interesting statement they had here is right at the bottom. It says, further, the genetic stock said it will announce one more drug development effort in 2021. So we don't know what it is. We know that they're looking at cancer. We know that they're addressing a couple other issues. But they're going to announce one more, and they don't want to mention what it is. So that's just another little nice surprise it looks like they're going to bring to us. I think that people are going to have a lot to talk about in this next year. So it's going to be an exciting year, and that's why if you want to be an early investor, the only way to get involved is within the next 6 months, I guess. If you wait much longer, you might not be an early investor anymore. Stock's already kind of like sliding upwards, and the news looks like it's coming closer and closer All right, so I got this one last article I wanted to show you guys. This one was from December 15, 2020, not too long ago, and it talks about the first patients to get CRISPR gene editing treatments, and they continue to thrive. So like I said, it's by NPR. When I read this, I was pretty excited about it. So she had sickle cell disease. It affects your blood. It's a devastating genetic disease, and it gives them a lot of excruciating pain. So apparently she's one of the first patients to receive this, and she's not having pain anymore. About a year after getting the treatment, it was working so well that Gray felt comfortable flying for the first time. Essentially, it looks like she's going back to normal. I'm not sure what flight has to do with this disease because I haven't looked into it quite as much. Yeah, so check this out. Researchers have become increasingly confident that the approach is safe. That's great news. It's working for her. It's going to continue to work for her. And they're pretty sure, look at this, they are becoming far more encouraged that her case is far from a fluke. And then right here, American Society for Hematology reported latest results from the first 10 patients. So they treated 10 patients. 2 of them had sickle cell, and the other 7 had a related blood disorder. They call it beta thalassemia. And they followed them for like 18 months, and all patients responded well with no side effects. So it looks like the therapy is working incredibly well. It's working on everybody they try it on. They're not having like a couple people not work or things like that. I mean, it's just working. It's just getting in there and it's working. And I mean, I would hope so. If you have it set up to edit specific genes and it goes in and does it, and those are the genes that are causing the problem, I mean, I guess logically it makes sense that it would just work as long as it's not like mutating them in any weird way, which it doesn't look like it is. So it's just working. That's exactly what we want. I mean, this is the kind of news I would read before a major breakthrough. I mean, this is actually so positive, so confidence inspiring. It's hard to believe that the mass public probably doesn't know about this, and that's why I'm bringing it to you. I want to help you guys out. Really good news. I say we're going to be ahead of the crowd. I think we're going to be way ahead. No one's going to be expecting it. We're going to be the early investors. We're going to take advantage. We're going to have huge gains, huge growth, and I'm excited for it. All right, guys, so just to wrap it up, what we saw that they have a lot of things they're working on. They have a lot of trials they're working on. They're going to be bringing it to us later this year, probably around second half, and there's going to be results brought to the table. They're going to be working on even cancer, which is insane. The results are going to come out, I'm hoping, later this year. And this is 2021, later this year, 2021. And I'm expecting good news. I'm expecting a lot of good news. Nothing's guaranteed, but so far, everything that I look into has good news with essentially zero bad news. I'm not seeing any bad news. If I was, then maybe I'd be a little more skeptical, but so far it looks like the gene editing process is working. They've been working on this process for a very long time, and it looks like the techniques that they have down for CRISPR are efficient, they work, and that's why I've been just waiting for these tests to come out. I've been just waiting for them to get in there and try it, and it looks like it's working. So I'm excited for the later half of this year. I want to get invested early, the first half of this year, before too much good news comes out, is what I'm thinking. Once the mainstream media gets a hold of this information, there's just no coming back. The stock's going to go up. Big time investors are going to get involved, and we're going to just wish that we were in there, you know. So hopefully this information helped you. If it did, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, subscribe, hit the bell, all those things. Help me build this channel so that I can keep bringing you all this great news. I want to make this channel big. I want to be able to bring you all the great ideas that I have all the time. I like to bring the most important information to you guys so that we can make our investing decisions ahead of the crowd, hopefully. I'm gathering it, and I'm just summarizing it for you guys and helping you out. So yeah, hope that you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.